Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and here is a camera comparison of two camera-centric smartphones, the Vivo Z1x with the Redmi Note 7 Pro. When it comes to smartphone cameras, one sensor which has been making a lot of buzz is Sony's new 48 megapixel sensor. Now both the devices have the 48 megapixel camera. Let's find out how they stack against each other. In terms of the camera hardware, the Vivo Z1x comes with a 48 megapixel Sony IMX582 sensor with f-stop 1.7 aperture and a secondary 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera and a third depth sensor. There is electronic image stabilization on offer. On the front panel, it has a 32 megapixel f2.0 selfie camera. Talking about the specifications of the Redmi Note 7 Pro, it comes with a 48 megapixel Sony IMX586 sensor with f-stop 1.7 aperture and a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera. On the front panel, it has a 13 megapixel f2.0 selfie camera along with screen flash included. First up, let's have a look at the video recording. Here both the smartphones can record videos in 1080p resolution as well as 4K is supported. The 1080p at 60 fps footage looks better on the Vivo Z1x as the colors are more natural, while the Redmi Note 7 Pro has a tendency to saturate the colors. The stabilization looks quite good on both the phones with EIS. So here we would pick the Vivo Z1x. Next up, the daylight captures. Looking at the captures, you can see both the devices offer similar performance, with the Redmi Note 7 Pro images being a tad brighter. But you get a clearer picture when you zoom into the pictures, and the Redmi Note 7 Pro offers slightly better details. The sharpness levels are also tad better on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, while color seems more natural on the Vivo Z1x. Both the devices have the dedicated 48 megapixel mode, which can be toggled from the settings. Moving to the close-up shots. Both the devices have good colors, but the Vivo Z1x was closer to real colors than the Redmi Note 7 Pro. The sharpness levels in close-up shots looks quite similar as well. The Vivo Z1x also has the advantage of having ultra wide angle camera, which works pretty well. Even though the sharpness levels are not as good as the real camera, it does pretty good job with wide angle shots. Next, the portrait shots. This is one area where it is tough to decide which looks better. While the colors looks vivid on Vivo Z1x, the facial tones and sharpness levels are better on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. The edge detection and the sharpness are quite similar. Neither of them are perfect in terms of the edge detection. Next up, the low light photos. Here in regular photos, the low light performance is better on the Vivo Z1x, which is clearly visible when you zoom into the pictures. The Z1x has better details on offer. Noise levels are also lesser on the Z1x. Both the phones have night mode, and here the results are better on the Redmi Note 7 Pro with sharper images and more details. The Vivo Z1x isn't far behind but does have visible noise. Finally, the selfie experience. The Vivo Z1x has 32 megapixel shooter while it is 13 megapixel on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. The skin tones are quite similar on both the phones and both offer good sharp selfies. Since selfies are more of a personal choice, we would leave it to our viewers to decide which looks better. The dynamic range is again quite similar on both the devices. Overall, we like the selfie experience on the Vivo Z1x. Both the phones have portrait selfies, and here the edge detection looks better on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, while there are a few missed edges on the Vivo Z1x. So this is the front facing camera sample taken with the Vivo Z1x using the 32 megapixel camera, so you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output from the front camera on the Vivo Z1x. So this is the front facing camera sample taken with the Redmi Note 7 Pro with the 13 megapixel camera. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output from the video recording from the Redmi Note 7 Pro. So summing up, which has a better camera? Vivo Z1x is one of those smartphones with really good camera hardware, and the performance is almost as good as the Redmi Note 7 Pro. It is definitely a tough job to choose a winner out of the two. While the Vivo Z1x excels in color reproduction, video recording, low light performance and selfies, the Redmi Note 7 Pro does it better in sharpness levels, portraits and night mode. So it is very difficult to choose a winner in terms of the camera, as both have similar hardware. But probably our choice would be the Vivo Z1x with really good performance. So that is the detailed camera review of the Vivo Z1x with the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button for more videos. This is Nirmal signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.